better club teams in England because their two female leagues, Danielle Evans and Anna Crossley, both played for England today. And when you see them on the live stream, or if you've seen them yesterday against Wales, they get used in the line attack the whole time. They're not there to just set plays up for the lads. They're right in there running punishes and throwing the ball from half. They'll do everything, and that's what just separates the two.
Superb. Thank you so much for that, Jordan. It's always a real pleasure to have you up here. Next up, it's almost time to get going for the men's 45 game between England and Portugal. So let's hand over to your commentators, Jono and Ben. Enjoy.
Many thanks once again to Ian and Jordan. And welcome along once again to Ben Meakin.
Hello, hello.
So England, Portugal in the men's 45s round robin. And England 8 from 8 previous to this. Portugal yet to win a game. So you would say that England will go into this one heavy favourites.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it might go the same way as the games have previously, where England get out on top. So I think that will be the outcome. But we never know. The stranger things that have happened. Leicester City have won the Premier League, so yeah, we'll have to see how this game goes. The Portuguese look very, very casual and very at ease, laughing with the referee as we wait for this game to start. I'm sure they'll get the game faces on shortly.
Yeah, these two teams met on Wednesday morning, and England came away with a 9-4 victory. So certainly not a thrashing by any means at all.
Absolutely not. I didn't see that game, so it'll be interesting to see how Portugal try and get their first win of the tournament.
And yet they have got a few scores, 22 overall going into this game, and so they haven't been shy of going over the line at all.
No,
we saw them earlier today as well, and we'll be seeing them later on as well as Portugal are on field one again.
Yeah, they've got
later
a
on
good
today,
haven't they?
So we hope all the fans of the Portuguese are enjoying it out there. As England start in this space over on the left-hand side, but the pass doesn't quite find its mark. With Brian Sifthorpe looking to get onto that, but he was just beyond him, and Portugal will start again. Ball just having to be retrieved almost from University Boulevard, but
it's just been hit by a tram. The ball, that is. I'm glad I clarified that.
And that is Portugal who start again. They're going to use their sub box. Now, one thing we mentioned earlier on commentary when we had Portugal on here was the fact that they are looking a little light on in their sub box. They've just got the one full change, 12 players, and 3 games today. That's going to take its toll.
Yeah, it is. They will be used to the heat. We know that from obviously their climate in Portugal. But 6 players in the sub box compared to the 8 that England will have will make a big difference moving into especially the latter parts of this game.
As both teams just feeling each other out at the moment as England get to the 7 metre diving through, but the touch was made, so play will go back.
Good defence there by Portugal. England sent the referee's just pulled the back to the markers are at the right place. Portugal are staying really compact at the moment, so England will have to look to spread the ball if they recognise that. But currently they've had 2 good attacks defended.
Interesting just looking around at the players on the field at the minute. There's a lot of leg strappings, which is not unusual for this stage in the touch tournament.
It's not at all, and most of it will be from diving around. I think you and I said it, John, on Tuesday, that it was very green out there, very lush, and now it's coming into looking like the latter stages of Wimbledon, where the centre of the pitch is looking like it's very, very brown. people have been sliding around, knees have started to get cuts, bruises, and you're trying to just protect those legs from more marks and grazers.
It's been noticeable in the past couple of days that there's been a couple of patches on here where dust has come up as players have gone over it, and but that's to be expected, isn't it? I mean, there's been so many games played on here. Once we finish today, 48 games in 4 days.
Yeah, so 12 games a day, a lot of stamping around, stomping on the grass, and yeah, absolutely. Here comes England, fifth touch. Can they set up just try and get on the overlap? Someone quick enough to get on the outside. Have we got it there? No, number one from England. Jeffrey Sue couldn't get it on the outside. So again, good defence from Portugal. I'd like to see Portugal see what they can do when they get over the line, over the halfway line. We've not seen that yet, have we, Jono?
No, we haven't. And they've been doing such a good job of keeping England out, but unfortunately, as they're driving towards their own attacking half, they're just struggling to get over halfway, but that's credit to the midfield defence of England. Portugal on last touch already. Good drive. Oh, well done. Almost well done. Sergio Goncalves almost getting free. Had the ball in one hand, just tried to take it over the head of the defenseman, but the touch was made. And it's England who are coming forward again. Good yards on this. Portuguese defence holding firm at the moment.
Good short wrap. Just slowed up. I think England's number 10 there, Kingsley Maunder, could have got on the outside with that wrap early release. He's got the ball again. Can he use it? He's got good footwork. Is he in? Did number 4 make the touch?
That is pointing down. I think the referee's nodding, and that is going to be the opening score.
Kingsley Maunder, I believe it was.
It was.
Got some dancing feet there.
He most certainly did. Let's watch it.
So he runs another short line. Watch him arc his run. Then he slams on the brakes. Then he lifts his arm in the air. He salutes the referee as he dots the ball down.
Sergio Goncalves, he was fooled a bit there, and then he's in outside mid, just couldn't cover the space to make the touch.
No, he couldn't. So we're going to now see Portugal in attack, and it'll be good to see if they can get that down. Did he get it down? Referee's running towards the 7-metre line, which means he doesn't think he did. It is a penalty for a forward pass. Ken Pollard's picked up out of how we're going to see this replay. Oh no, we're not. The game started that quick, we couldn't get the replay on, so England are now near halfway.
They've just brought some fresh legs on. Now they're sprinting over the halfway line to the 10-metre. Good yards by England as Jeffrey Sue takes a tumble. We've seen it a couple of times. It's just on that little patch there that just seems to be a little worn. In the last match there was a tumble in that area.
That could be the tired and weary legs as well.
Diving through again.
I think
and
that's
it's given.
Score. Every time England have scored so far, they've made sure the referee knew about it, and that's England's number. Is it number 2 or number 3? We'll have to look at this at the replay. So it's England's number 2, David Williamson. He sweeps round. He gets on the outside of his defender, number 11 from Portugal. He makes him dance in a circle. Number 11, Luis Baptista, couldn't get onside, and England go in for the second score.
It's a 2-0 England lead with 7 minutes gone. And they've been threatening, but the Portuguese defence was holding really, really firm. And then unfortunately, the 2 drives from England and 2 scores, and Portugal have work to do now.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first 5 minutes, Portugal kept really, really tight in their midfield. In their line defence, and the last 2 scores, England have gone through the middle. So they'll have to have a bit of work to do to try and keep that defence a bit tighter in the middle, and make England throw the ball over their heads rather than through the middle. So England here on Portugal here on a scoop. They've got an overlap. Can he get it down? No, it's a good touch there by number 11, Brian Sibthorpe.
We've not seen Portugal threatened the England line too much in this game, but when they have, they've got very close.
Yeah, absolutely. Eduardo, Zebra nearly got over there. They've got an overlap again. No, it's the same outcome. So referees called 6 touch. He might even call a touch and pass depending on what he sees. He's just put the ball down, signal. So it's just a roll ball.
It's number 14 there, Dante Storti. We've seen him a couple of times in previous games on this field for Portugal, and he's one of these players who really lives it. Every time they make a good play or they score a try, he's like fist pumping.
He's all over
really
it.
loving
You can
it.
see him clapping on the sideline here.
As England get towards halfway.
Last touch, England's number 16. Tim Stoller picked up, went short side, went towards the England sub-box side. Nothing was open though, so he had to just get the ball away, and it's not a bad finish to the end of the set.
Adrian Williams just trying to gather the ball in on the left-hand side there. It was just a little too high. Portugal have the ball again. They work the ball towards their sub-box. They bring fresh legs on. Portugal are going to have confidence. They've scored 4 tries earlier in the tournament against England, so they know that they can score against them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think at the moment it's not going to be from this drive because that 6th touch. I'd like to see Portugal just get over halfway a bit more before they start to pick up the scooping option. I think they can do quite a bit of damage if they just keep going forward off their drives. So England do the same thing every time. They try and get on the left middle, and then they look to sweep back. And a bit of miscommunication there, a bit of a fist bump. A bit of a frustration clap there from England's number 9, Alexander Berger, as he didn't collect the ball.
Portugal start again. Just a stumble.
Oh! We've got some frustration.
Dante Storte again. He's just shouting at his.
Now I don't know Portuguese, but he's definitely pointing to his head, saying, "You've got to talk. You've got to concentrate." I think
he wanted the change, and whoever he was changing with wasn't ready or wasn't concentrating. And I think, looking at his body language, I think that was the reason for the outburst. It was. Number 13, Joao Neto, who sort of sheepishly went back onto the field as Storte came off. So England do.
I think they got another penalty in between 2 sets, so they're going to send up a sweeper at the moment. They're just sending sweepers at the moment. Number 1, the referee says Portugal make the touch, so good defence. They stayed tighter in that one. I think they'll probably set up another sweeper move here. Number 2, David Williamson, looks like he's going to take his middle on the outside. He's then going to check back in. It gets both middles up. And the referee points to the green grass.
Alexander Berger pops the ball down. It was a great move.
And that is try number 3 for England.
So England 3-0 ahead now.
So we just look at this replay here, Johnny. You see them going on the outside. They check back in. They have to get the other middle, who then can't make it onside. He then steps back, and ref actually stays on the outside. Apologies, he doesn't step back and just dots that ball down before the 2 Portuguese can make that touch.
So England just slowly starting to take control of the game. 3 scores ahead. Portugal with work to do. Now this looks threatening from Portugal from the tap off. Just need to find some open players.
The Portuguese are moving really well. They're just not picking the option that they need to try and get an overlap from somewhere. They're trying to do it with their footwork, and when you've got players of the same agility and speed, it's really difficult to do. And as number 4, Sergio Gonzalez has just given the ball to ground there, so it's an unfortunate set. I'd like them to just use their ball skills rather than their footwork to try and get an overlap.
Running through now. England over halfway. Going to the 10 metre, and striding through again. Oh, that's a shame. Portugal will have the ball back. I'm noticing you just stepped off the microphone there to pop your coat on. It's not warm up here,
do you know what? We've got two sides to this pavilion. This side that we're watching pitch 1 on currently has no sun on it, and it's a little bit more windy today. And there's a few of us in jumpers and coats with sunglasses on. If you go onto the other side of this pavilion, the sun is beaming. It's a lovely place to be. I think we need to change pitch 1 for the morning, and then go to pitch and then change over in the afternoon. Hopefully about an hour we'll have a bit more sun and we'll all be back in our shorts and flip-flops.
I made the mistake of not wearing a second layer yesterday. A mistake I've not made today, and I'm still cold.
Not. Yeah, it is. I've got my winter jacket on.
So it is England who have the ball. They're up at halfway. 6 minutes left in this first half. England, while comfortable, certainly not running away with it at 3-0.
No, and that was 5th touch, and they didn't get a strike move, so they're going to have to try and do something that's quite static. They run a cut play. Can they get the overlap? They do. That's a really good score, and it's one of the only ways you can actually score when you've got no 5th touch strike.
Jose Oliveira there, he was just complaining. He felt that he had made the touch. The number 12
I think the
for
referee
Portugal
thought they were going to watch it again. So they've run the cut. Our ball's definitely away just before the 2 number 12s of England, Simon Quashie and Jose Oliveira were clashing, but England got the ball away. Let's see what Portugal can do here. At the moment, like I said last time, they're trying to use their footwork to get scores. Now they're going to set up a scoop. They're all a bit close. If you're seeing that, they're very close to each other. I'd like to use them to spread the ball a bit more and try and get on the outside of England rather than trying to be compact, whereas England are very tight there.
England, tight defence, and they've made some good yards, but making the change, and the change was a little slow, so they had to wait for players to join. They've done well though. They're at the 7 metre. There's space here. Just needs to find someone open. Portugal recover in the end. And Tim Stoller, he seemed to have an age there, but no one could just get themselves open.
He was like a quarterback in the pocket, wasn't he? He got in goal, he did all the hard thing, and then he couldn't find his man, and the ball went to ground. Good scramble defence from Portugal. When a dummy half goes through as dummy half in touch rugby, you can't score. So everyone else tries to stay man on and mirror their own player. So England have given away a penalty to Portugal, so Portugal have got a new set of 6 here. That was really good defence by Portugal.
Certainly was. Oh,
unlucky. Number
Eduardo Zebra, and you could see his frustration as he dropped that. We're going to be heading over to the studio very, very shortly. Just watch this play here as England just look to come over to the right hand side. Drop down now. Oh, it's a slip, but recovered well. Oh, and Portugal will have the ball.
With a man with really fickle knees, I really don't like people when they fall over, and I always twinge in because I don't like people hurting their knees, so he's done well there to keep on his feet after that fall.
Yeah, I suppose that's the thing as well. As the ground gets a little bit more worn, it does get a little more difficult to get your grip on there.
Yeah, absolutely. Instead of going for big steps, you're going to have to go for a stutter step instead to try and get round people.
Right, well, we are going to head over to the studio. Over to you, Ian.
Hello everybody, welcome to the studio. We're joined by another guest. We've got Dom Tripp with us. Dom, let's have a quick chat about the tournament so far. How's it been out there?
It's been awesome actually, compared to the last Euros we had 4 years ago. It's much tougher in the men's division, and we're loving it. Absolutely loving the challenge. We're having tough games every day. A lot more emphasis on recovery from it, and yeah, excited to get into the knockout stages tomorrow.
Been quite a wait, hasn't it? Is there a bit of a party atmosphere going on out there?
Yeah, we're excited for what's to come on Saturday night as well.
After party, it's going to get messy.
Yeah. It's all we've been planning really. No, it's
what you've been planning. I know the truth.
No, yeah, that's true. No, we've got a big 4-game streak ahead of us now. So yeah, very much focused on what the job is at hand. But yeah,
Jordan, you got a couple of tricky questions. I'll give you this one. You take that.
Okay.
Giving me a lot of responsibility here. Yeah, you touched on it briefly then. Normally, in the men's opens category, we wouldn't say that the England men's opens roll through tournaments, but up until Tuesday morning, you haven't lost a game in 10 years in Europe. If you want to talk us through maybe the different challenges that you've had, obviously this time there's a genuine top 4. And obviously you've lost a game against France. You had a really tough game about an hour ago against Scotland. If you want to talk us through differences in preparation this time, is it more intense for you?
Definitely. I think this tournament, I mean, if we take 2018 for example, of which you were very much a part of, I think the final score was 11-2 against Wales, something like that. So I mean, obviously we had a strong team then. We were very much in the lead up to a World Cup. We were coming together to try and do something special. This year, I mean, the competition's just like a different scale. It's great to see some really strong coaches across the board from those top 4 teams as well.
Scotland being
100%. So I mean the difference within the tournament, not even just like starting it. So like our first game against Scotland, I felt we came out the blocks and they probably didn't give a fair reflection of what they could do. The game they've just done then, I mean, absolute credit to them.
Just touching on that a little bit as well then, if we can go into Scotland a little bit more, what were the big changes from obviously yesterday? You went through them quite easily. Obviously they're missing one of their key strike players who did play this afternoon. Was there much of a difference, and how much would you put that down to Robbie and Gareth in the box?
I mean, they're smart blokes. I mean, you can't knock it. And then what they've done with other teams in the past, I mean, we knew that they were going to come out with something strong. I mean, the intensity that they were coming out. I mean, they're getting in our face. I mean, and that's exactly what you want to do in the game. Win the midfield. And I think they did that actually for the majority of the game. So it was tight and it was hanging on a knife edge for the vast majority. So, I mean, Scotland themselves, I think, have probably got the biggest opportunity to grow as well. I think they're going to be a really good team in a couple of years going into the World Cup. I'm not saying that France and Ireland are not, but I think Scotland is really exciting. And obviously you've got France and Ireland who have absolutely, come with their best foot forward. So it's an exciting time to be watching. To be fair, it's an exciting time to be playing.
It's great. I've had my feet up there. I'm not sore. I had a beer the other night.
Did you? What's that taste like?
It's the best Euros ever.
That's why he's not playing.
This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. No, I mean, to be fair, we were chatting this morning, and Ian asked me about preparation, things like that. I started talking about when you win on day 4 or 5 with your mates, and you get to have a beer in the changing rooms. Then I went, I'm going to have to go and play now. I've got goosebumps. Before we go back and wrap up that first half, Dom, tradition we've had all week, little bit of a tricky question to deal with. Well, you can make it tricky if you want.
Okay.
I know what your answer might be, and I think there's the right answer. If you get it wrong, somebody's going to be angry.
Is it you?
And you'll know. If you could replace rain with something other than money, it can't be monetary.
Can't be money.
What would you replace it with?
Can it be another liquid?
Yeah, let's go liquid.
Okay. Your hesitation means I haven't got the right answer.
Go on.
Beer?
Yeah, that's alright. I know it's not the right answer.
Okay, what is the right answer?
Have a look at your hat.
Oh, Dower House honey is absolutely the thing that should fall from the sky. Although that doesn't think you're 10 out of commercial fruit touch, does it?
Beer's a good answer, but yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, thanks so much, Dom. We're going to let you go anyway. Thanks for that. Thanks for coming up. We do appreciate it. We're going to hand back to Jono and Ben to wrap up the first half there. Thanks for tuning in.
Many thanks, Ian and Jordan and Dom. And Ben, we're at half time here. England 4-0, looking very comfortable for that.
Yeah,
really.
Absolutely. I hope you enjoyed the 2 children that we've just had on in that interview just then. But we have definitely got a good performance from England here. They're playing very well. They're playing very smart. They're doing the same thing every single time to get the setup to score. So I think they're playing very well. Portugal have had opportunities. I would like to see them spread the ball a bit more, but we'll see what their coach has said at half time, and hopefully they can try and get on the scoreboard early.
Indeed, and we will see Portugal a little later on as well, as they take on Wales. Wales in second place in the round robin table, just the 2 losses that they've had so far and 6 wins. They are playing at the moment out on field 2, so the stream available for that one. They are playing Switzerland. The other game in this round in the men's 45, Scotland taking on France, which is currently on field 5. Looking at the table overall, England 8 from 8, so they are well on top here. It looks like they're going to go 9 from 9, and Wales, Scotland, France, so that looks like that will probably be the semi-final lineup. Possibility of some change depending on the results that are going on at the moment and the final round later today, but England looking very good, but Wales and Scotland, they could provide a bit of a banana skin for England.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're looking at the table as we are now, Wales have actually scored more than England so far. England have scored, and this was before this game, so we'll see how this round changes the table. But before this game started, England had scored 61. Wales had actually scored 65. So their attack's a little bit better at the moment. But then England's defence is a little bit tighter. They've conceded 9 scores less than Wales. So that's a positive 4 for England. So maybe that's why the draw at the table is like it is currently.
And Wales 2 losses are to England, 10-7. And 6-3.
So there's 6, yeah. So I saw a positive 4. So yeah, there's not a lot between them.
It's just a case that let's say that hypothetically, looking ahead to tomorrow, the final is between England and Wales. Wales tighten up that defence, and they could cause England some problems.
Absolutely. I think they can definitely do that. If I know Wales, I think I know a few of their players. Who are from Nottingham Touch actually that play for Wales. There's some good attacking players. And Portugal have scored! Portugal have scored! We said they wanted to hit back, and this is a lovely score. We'll just run this through when we see the replay.
Yes, England not having it their own way.
So what Portugal do here, they run a 33 short line, it's also known as a hammer, and he steps on the outside, he goes in, and he goes between the 2 middles. It's a really good score. It's actually the first time Portugal have set up a touch play in the England defensive 7, so it's a really impressive score. I'd like to see them do that more often.
Yeah, Neto with Portugal's first score of the game, and what a great start. What a great start to the second half for Portugal. They've got it to within 3, and we know they scored 4 the last time these 2 teams met.
Good touch, we saw that one.
Touch given.
Number 8 or number 9 was it? Miguel Rodriguez made that touch. So in the first half, England did sweepers, is what they're doing now. But then last time England sent a 32 short, and now they've just sent another sweeper. So they're varying it up this half so far. It'll be interesting to see what they do on this set of 6. I would go back to the 32 shorts because Portugal have actually defended the sweeper quite well. Yeah, oh no, they're going to go for another sweeper.
Oh, sliding through. I think he's got that down. He has.
So for anyone that has not played touch or wants to learn how to slide dive, watch this score of number 8 Lloyd Hook, and not his body position as such, but how he gets the ball on the floor and uses his momentum to propel them forward as he sweeps round. He gets the ball on the floor first. We've just missed that on the replay, but he uses the ball as momentum to slide it forward, and as soon he can get that to that try line just before the Portuguese players can get to him.
So England stretch it back out to 4. Well, Portugal will take some confidence from that early try they scored themselves, and they're at the 7 metre again already. And this is what we didn't see.
They're going to send a sweeper of their own, but they go through short side. Lucky. Just a bit of a kick as the dump was made.
Sorry, what I was saying there was that Portugal, early in the first half, they wasn't getting to the 7 metre line anywhere near enough. They've managed it twice already in this second half.
Yeah, I think that's something that they've spoke about, being a bit more direct, and they're going to do that again, I think, every time now.
Fell out the hands there of Alexander Berger. So Portugal start again after the enforced error. To halfway, they made changes from their sub box.
We're looking at the Portuguese sub box now, and Portugal number 2, Carlos Lemos, is actually
he's
pointing towards the English try line. That's obviously a statement of what they said at half time. Go forward, and they didn't go forward this time. And look at they're 10-15 metres out, and there's not a lot on, and they turn over the ball.
Miguel Hone just trying to go through there,
and now they've been penalised for throwing the ball away.
So England get an extra 10 metres, and Portugal will not have wanted that.
No.
I think that's the thing. You've got to keep your frustrations in check somewhat in this game, because you are penalised for any shows of dissent.
Oh, yeah. Someone that's definitely done that in the past. I know that it's difficult to do. England have got an overlap, but they've got no winger. The winger's subbed off. He's on the other side of the pitch. You can see there, he gets the ball, he looks up and he goes, "Where's my winger?" And there was no one there. So unfortunate from the English attack there. They had the overlap, but they couldn't exploit it. They're going to send another sweeper here.
Oh, that's a nice play. Lovely quick pass into the midriff of Brian Sibthorpe, and he can make no mistake. He goes straight through the hole and pops it down, and England leading 6-1.
And if you're used to touch rugby or new to it, we do a thing called sequencing. So England's number 8, Lloyd Hook, he was the one that we spoke about with the slide dive. He went round, as you can see, and have a look at the link defender from Portugal. He comes in because he thinks he's going to slide dive. He doesn't, and they pass the ball off. That's very clever play there from the England number 8, because he definitely used his score before to give the assist there.
Portugal, once again, they've driven to the 7 metre from the tap off. Now it's just trying to work out this England defence and look for the gaps.
Inside ball's on, inside ball's on!
And they've got it! Neto, the latest try scorer for Portugal, and they do have a second. 6-2 England lead. Let's watch this again. Just nice quick passing. Driving to the line. Good switch back inside.
Yeah, so they tried to set up the same play that they ran when they last scored. So England tried to defend that, and instead of giving him the ball, they actually went short side, and the touching England player was nowhere to be seen, and the big hole was on inside. 32 short.
Oh, and England driven all the way to the other end, and it looks like the referee's pointing that the ball was down. His side official agrees with him, and England are 7-2 ahead.
They are. There's not the Portugal number 3, Ricardo Couto, wasn't happy with that call. The referee said the ball was down, so he's got to get off and take that one on the chin.
So England coming straight back from the tap off. They've got the lead back to 5. 7-2 they lead, as Portugal look to strike back themselves.
I think they're going to do the same thing. Yeah, they give the ball, he steps in. He's going to throw long. This is a great pass. Can he dot it down? Good defence. So this is the same setup that Portugal have scored off twice now. and instead of scooping or going short side, number 13 Jose Neto just went long side, went open side and threw the ball. Really good long ball, but England's near side winger, as we're looking at it, could just get over and make that touch. Good defensive read.
It was Dante Storte again, and it was interesting that he put the ball down. He was straight to the official on the side.
Please give it me.
He's really living every move of this. It's great to see. And England just have the ball. They've managed to bring some fresh legs on. It's halfway. Good drive. It's passed inside, but unfortunately not handled cleanly, and Portugal will have the ball back. So start across.
We've got some finals footy this afternoon, Jono. Looking at the draw, just having a look, you've got the men's 30s quarter final, so the finals footy is finally starting.
Yes, I was talking to Mel about that one earlier because I got home last night and I sort of have a look through the team sheets.
Doing your homework.
Just making sure that all the team sheets are correct, and I saw there was a quarter final. I went on to the men's 30s and had a look at the table, and if my maths was correct, Belgium will definitely be in that game, and I think they'll play either Ireland or Switzerland. Well, it will be decided now because I think the final round of those games have taken place.
Okay.
So we shall see if I was right or if I have to make a very drastic and quick change to the team sheets.
Well, I'm sure you've got it right. As we were just talking about that quarter final, Portugal have just been given a period of time. So Portugal's number 11, Luis Baptista, has actually gone down into the exclusion zone to the right as we're looking at it, and Portugal are down for 5 men for the next 4 completed sets.
This is going to be a big advantage for England now.
Yeah, absolutely. I liked your statistic about the ice hockey power play. You said
Yes.
it's 20% of the time?
20 to 25% as an average usually. And I'm only going off British Elite League stats there, and looking at the spread between the sort of top and bottom teams from last season. It was, I think it was 18% was the lowest, and 26% I think was the highest. So it's generally within that 20 to 25%.
I think we're probably about the same here, but we've got that 1 in 5 score here. We've just seen it then. England have done very well. They actually came down the left-hand side as we were looking at it, and then they did a few switches. You'll see here they go left, then they'll switch. Everyone has to close in, otherwise this guy scores. And they did a nice 2-on-1 to finish there now. Very good score.
David Williamson putting the ball down, so 8-2 England lead. I believe that was set 1, wasn't it?
It was, so we've got 3 more to go. It would be good to see if Portugal could set something up to score here. It's always difficult 5 against 6, but I have seen it happen a couple of times this week.
Because the only difference between using that ice hockey analogy is that obviously when the opposing team scores, the offending player comes straight back onto the
you're
ice.
right, they don't keep the 2 minutes or 4 minutes.
Whereas this doesn't happen here. So England keep that advantage. I think we're on set 3 now.
I believe so. They've got a 2-on-1. Sometimes it's a little bit more difficult when you've got 5 because you're trying to run your pattern. But England they had an overlap and they could have just used hands, but they're so used to running that same pattern that they check back inside. Fortunately for England, they've got a new set of 6 now because...
Now, does this count as set 4 now?
I believe it does. But I'm not a referee. I'm not making the rules up here. I mean, the referees aren't making the rules up here either. They're going by the law book. But I'm not sure what the law book says. I believe it should be 4 set. This should be the 4th set. We'll see what the referees do, though. Setting up a quickie play. Quickie back.
Oh, he's down.
Lovely, lovely. So, again, England have had 3 attacking sets. They've scored 2 of them.
So, 66%.
66%. Bit better than ice hockey. Come and watch more touch, guys. I think he should be coming back on now.
He is pointing, but he's still in the exclusion box.
The referee's saying one more set. I don't think this is set 5, but the referee's no better than me, and this is why I'm up here commentating and not down with a white t-shirt on of England or the referees.
Poor Bunce there putting the ball over. So yeah, I do wonder if
that penalty,
the penalty, which we thought was maybe, is it that actual drive rather than
potentially it is
penalty. Portugal at the 7 metre mark, unfortunately used all their touches, so England have the ball back. 9-2 that they lead now. They've got a very comfortable lead with 6.5 minutes or so to play. They go over to the sub box.
And as in ice hockey, Portugal are back to full strength.
They are indeed.
So England are going to run another 32. They're going to run a short. He's come from a long way. Can he give the ball a wrap? He doesn't need it. He gets touched. I think if he'd have passed the ball, there would have been another score. Not him himself. Number 11, Brian Sibthorpe. If he'd have passed the ball, there would have been a score. And these things against Portugal might not matter as much. Oh, we've got another outside. Oh, good touch there by Portugal's number 9, Miguel Rodriguez.
Yes, it was a good touch as they were bursting through, and Portugal now have possession back. There's a nice big crowd gathering around pitch 1.
I think there'll be a fair few teams that have only got 2 games today, and they might be done already, or have got a nice big gap between games, so they're coming to enjoy the sun. We've got a big shoot where the trees are to our left. Oh, England, Portugal are on the outside. What a diving touch that is by England's number 15, Bill Lees. What a touch! He's got bandages. He's almost a skeleton, a mummy. Sorry, with all those bandages he's got on him, but he is diving around and making some great touches.
He certainly is. He's got his fan club on the bleachers in front of us. They was chanting his name at half time, I noticed.
Oh,
so
really?
I wonder if that's some family down there.
Gave them a little wave.
They're turning around and looking back, so I wonder if they can hear us talking about him down here.
So while we're talking about England, the England captain of the men's 45s actually came over to me and said, Al Gromit, so if you've never been around a touch tournament before, Grommets are the youngest player. Yes, you can have a Gromit that's the youngest player in the men's 45s. Has lost their team mascot, and he's actually watching this game now, so you'll have to come and find that later. It's in front of the commentators.
Yes, he's certainly enjoying it. He's got a lovely view.
Yes, he has. It's actually a gargoyle. So it's not the happiest of mascots. Maybe it's what the team represents. I don't know.
I think he's not happy because it looks like he's had one of his wings stuck back on. But
so you'll have to come and get that in this second after this match.
It's England who are driving again as they look to go into double figures there at the 7 metre line now.
Short side. Oh, he stepped into. Oh, unlucky. There's a bit of confusion there. Who was at half? England's number 16, Tim Stoller, told Ken Pollard to just stay out of the ruck. He picked it up. He went short side, and it was just ball to ground due to a bit of confusion.
It's Portugal who are over halfway.
Six touch there.
So you can go towards their own box. They get fresh legs on. 3 minutes left. There's another good drive by England. They've made good yards here. That's 4th touch at the 7 metre on 4. Oh, great play. Bursting into the end zone was Jeffrey Sue. You need to find someone open, and did. And England do have double figures. It's 10-2 that they lead.
Yeah, David Williamson comes driving on the field. He actually moves the Portuguese defence left as we're looking at it here. He then checks it, he then switches back in, drives it in, and as John will say, they scoop and get that score.
So Portugal start again from halfway, and after that really early score that could have put pressure on England, that Portugal scoring straight from the tap off in this second half. Fair play to England, they've stretched away and increased their lead.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you said it was 10-4 the last time these two have played, so it looks like currently, as it stands, if the score stays the same, England's defence has been a little bit tighter, and they've managed to get over the Portuguese try line as many times as they did last time. I think that is ball to ground. Note the referee saying he got in the ruck, so the Portuguese player got in the ruck, so it's a new set of 6-2 England, and they'll try and stretch that lead to 11.
Well, indeed.
Nice dump. The ball's hands again. Oh, good defence.
It was good defence. Just stepping up there was high net out.
Not sure what the referee's called here. He's giving it Portugal ball. Not sure what for. So we'll have to just make do with the referee call here.
Final minute. So Portugal will want to finish on a high. As we said, they will be on this pitch for the final game of the day, starting at 6:05, and that is against Wales. So
yeah, it's a long day for them as well. That is.
It certainly is. 3 games in a day. That is really going to make the legs suffer. I think there'll be a few ice baths tonight amongst these players.
Absolutely, a few massages. Same with the referees though, they are running up and back so many times. They're getting, oh, we've got a quick scoop. No, I thought it was going to go through as a winger. Yeah, the referees are doing so much work here, especially it's hot.
Indeed.
Oh,
I think Mel was saying that the refs can run 4 to 5k in a game, and if they're doing 2 or 3 games a day,
exactly.
that's a lot of miles there.
Exactly.
Getting through.
The hooter actually went, but England got a penalty, so. And they're going to score off this, can they? Oh, good slap down by Portugal's Luis Baptista there to finish that game off.
Yes, so the whistle goes. It is a 10-2 victory for England against Portugal. As I said, we will see Portugal a little later on. 6:05, they take on Wales in the final match of the day here on pitch 1. But coming up next, it is the Women's Open round robin match between Belgium and France. Many thanks to Ben for being on commentary. We will take a very, very short break and we'll be back very soon. Belgium versus France in the Women's Open. Don't go away.